throughout Northwest Indiana,
Okay, what cities, what communities?
Maryville and Crown Point.
Okay, this is what I want from you. You don't have to give me the addresses, but before you leave, provide Attorney Molina with the addresses from the other stations
Okay.
outside of Gary, so we can kind of look and compare
Okay.
to see how your gas stations here compare to the ones in Maryville and other areas. Okay.
Absolutely.
All right, thank you. Any more questions by
have a
Ms.
question.
Barnes Caldwell?
That question you just asked, can you add if they sell beer and, wine? Because the one on 34th does.
Okay.
Okay.
I have one last question, and this is actually for attorney. Did we get any unfavorable letters back from the community saying no?
No letters. There was one petitioner remonstrator who showed up who lived behind the property and was against it. And
She
spoke
showed
against
up last week in the council meeting and addressed that. But anyone else in that area? I'm sorry, ma'am? Okay. Anyone else?
it. At the time, yeah. At the time, nobody else appeared.
Okay.
And whatever happens on this, we need to set it for public hearing, and then certainly anybody can show up.
Show up from there. Okay. Thank you.
Attorney Molina, as I requested and Linda Barnes Caldwell requested, can you get those stations sent to us as soon as possible so council members can go and compare and do our own background? Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. Any other questions by council members? Madam Chair?
Thank you. Just one last question. B1 indicates limited retail districts. Can you give us some examples of what would be an allowable use in this area?
Yes, let me pull up the zoning code. Honestly, there's so many, I don't have them memorized. But I can certainly, if you give me a moment, I can pull it right up for you.
I was trying to do the same thing. I thought maybe you would know, Attorney Molina. I don't mean to put you on the spot.
Yes,
And that could be something you can get to me later.
absolutely. I can email you the B1 uses allowable.
Thank you.
But it's limited business. It's smaller, like retail things.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right,
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Next, you got another question? Okay.
Your station, I know I've met with you. I remember who you are now. We met this summer. And there is a station across, I'm the councilman for that area. There is an abandoned station across the street. Why not there?
Well, excuse me, you need to come before the microphone so the public can see you on TV and hear every conversation that's going on.
The property across the street was too small. The building itself was too small for the convenience store. It was primarily just, pay for your gas and a few drinks, where he has a full-service convenience store, kind of like quick trip items and things like that the community could stop in and grab.
The reason I'm saying that is because I agree with Councilwoman. The relocation and the adding of no more gas tanks, we already have 2 across the street, so you have to add some more over here as well.
Well, the 2 across the street are not in use anymore.
Yeah, and I need to catch up with that owner to see if what's he gonna do about that station, because it needs to be removed. So my question to you is, what's your longevity purpose in that? If you were allowed to set your business up over there?
Actually,
All right.
all the old gas stations that have the EPA problem,
Yeah,
so the tank underground, because that's out of code. So it's a bit of work, because if you have the fresh, like a facility or vicinity, like you can just put the tank in there, there's no environmental issue.
okay. All right, thank you.
Attorney Molina, has there been a conversation with the administration about a potential alternative site for the petitioner, potentially?
No, that has not been broached, Councilman Washington. I know they had the contract, they have the property under contract. I think it's on contingent if they can get the zoning. If not, then they can, not
Okay.
complete the purchase.
And I say that because we don't make decisions at this level, but at the next meeting. I'm really trying to look at ways that they can work with the city in trying to bring that business to the community. So I don't know what'll happen next Tuesday, but there is a concern by the council.
Clearly, and I'm going to ask if we can set this for the March 18th meeting to make sure we have the adequate notice for the public hearing that we'll have to conduct at the on the final decision date for this.
Okay, that's fine. And after record, I also want to know the 3 commissioners who voted to abstain, to have a conversation with them.
Absolutely.
All right, thank you.
Okay. And
Any
then
more
very quickly,
questions by council members?
to President Latham's point very quickly. Okay, good. So it's just basically small business. It has to be under 12,500 square feet. Offices, could be library or bookstores, small things like that.
I'm reading,
Retail.
thank you, Attorney Molina, and excuse me, Mr. Chair. I'm reading the allowable uses, and they look like really nice amenities that I'm sure that the neighborhood would probably be welcome to, other than a gas station. Pedestrian-oriented developments, goods or services directly to customers. Establishments shall not be permitted which primarily sell alcohol under any ABL. I mean, when I look at the allowable uses for that, the ideas, the possibilities are endless, and I think it's an opportunity to add amenities to the neighborhood if it's not in use as a gas station, as a convenience store. So, florist shops, book and stationery stores, custom dressmaking, tailor shops, a pharmacy, something we desperately need, a food store, including grocery stores, meat markets, bakeries, hardware, home improvement stores. So this is an opportunity maybe to attract a business in its allowable use, and maybe a conversation to have. I saw our redevelopment director walk in. Hi, Chris. So I think those are things that that we could possibly be open to. Thank you, Attorney Molina, and thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Madam President.
I have one last question. Would you provide security at this station? Because I know we have a situation with gas stations in the 6th District where, it does get out of control, crime. We've had one station down the street from you on the 49th and Broadway where there's been several shootings and murders. So would it be any security provided within the
Yeah,
station?
usually we have it's 24-hour surveillance cameras, but if we need security, we can hire some security person too. It all depends. If we need it, then definitely we can hire it. Okay.
Thank you. And Madam Chair, this is a broader conversation too with, we have Ms. Corey Sharp, who is handling planning and zoning, and she's doing a fine job. But it goes to an overall discussion that we had with the city and the planning commission to map out the entire city, looking what's best. And I say this with great respect. The city wants development, but we want the right development, and we don't want to place things anywhere just to have them there and to have businesses. And so in the area of planning, there are certain areas that are properly zoned for a reason. We got issues with abandoned school buildings. And so that greater conversation with redevelopment planning and the council and administration, we're working together to ensure that this city is planned accordingly for not only present business, but making sure that the new business that comes to the community is actually in the right location from an environmental standpoint, most importantly when it comes to groundwater contamination and, with gas stations and things like that. Because when you actually leave a gas station and try to sell it, you have to pull up those tanks and the contamination. Yes, GARD, I do a lot of research. I'm with you all on this. So it hurts the community. And so we want to make sure that, for instance, the gas station that was Speedway in the Miller section in your district, now that's open for sale. And so you have to, even if a new station goes there, you have to dig up those old gas tanks. You have to put something new. So we appreciate the business, but we want to make sure that we have the right business for the right location. I want to say to the petitioner, thank you for coming. Thank you for wanting to invest in Gary. And I'm hoping that we can work something out to make sure that you're in the very best location, okay? Thank you. Next on the agenda is council pending ordinance 2025-09, an ordinance reviewing a special use permit for property located at 254 Cleveland Street to be used as a home daycare by petitioner Linda Arvet. Is Ms. Arvet here today? Averett, come to the microphone and give me the correct pronunciation of your name so I will not be disrespectful and say it incorrectly.
It's Linda Averett.
Ms. Averett, thank you for coming today. Thank you for choosing to have your daycare in this community. So Ms. Averett, I'm gonna have you stand to the side as Mr. Attorney Molina will come and present your petition to us. You could have a seat, ma'am, you could have a seat. Thank you, Attorney Molina.
Thank you, council members. So in 2025-09, it is similar as the first one that we reviewed today. It's a special use permit for a property. This one is at 254 Cleveland Street to be used as a home daycare. As stated, the petitioner is Linda Averett. Her property located at 254 Cleveland Street is in R3 residential district. She came before the Board of Zoning Appeals on January 9th. The Board of Zoning Appeals at that time unanimously voted in favor of recommending a special use permit for the property. Reviewing the same 7 factors, the BZA found that the establishment, maintenance, or operation of the special use will not be detrimental or endanger the public health. They found that the special use will not be injurious to the use and enjoyment of other properties in the immediate vicinity for the purposes already permitted. That the establishment of the special use will not impede or substantially alter the normal and orderly development and improvement of surrounding property for uses permitted in the district. That adequate utilities exist at the location. That adequate measures have been taken regarding access management, ingress and egress, so designed as to minimize traffic congestion on the public roads. There's not much parking here. It's basically drop off and pick up. There's not a situation where we need long-term parking that would cause any problems with the ingress or egress. The special use will not be located, will be located in a district where the use is authorized. And again, R3 does allow a home daycare under the special use. And finally, that the petitioner did document and present to the board that proposed special use provides for the implementation of sustainable growth principles and initiatives as approved by the board. Like the first one, a condition of this permit is that Ms. Averett live in the house, which she does. And if she is granted this special use permit and opens the business, in order to obtain a business license every year, she would have to produce evidence that she still resides in the house. So that's a brief overview. If you have any questions for me, I'm happy to answer those. And obviously, Ms. Averett is also.
Questions by Councilman? Madam President?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Ms. Averett, do you currently have a daycare, or is this a new business, new daycare? And how many children are you planning on servicing from this location?
This is new. I'm looking at maybe 5 or 6. Yes,
Any
sir.
more questions? Ms.
Yes.
Ivy?
5 or 6 children, would those children be infants or after-school children, toddlers? What age range are you looking for?
Right now, I'm looking at, I believe the youngest one is 6 months, and the oldest one is 10.
6 months to 10. So you already have those children, you already service those children?
Someone.
All right, thank you.
Any more questions?
Chair.
Mr. Halliburton?
Hi, you stated, is this your first business with children?
Yes.
Okay.
This is something that I wanted to try. And I got attached to these little kids, and they was The baby was abused in a daycare center that they was in. And they brought him to me, and I got attached to him. And so I said to make it legal, I needed to get licensed to take care of him.
Do you have a licensed background in?
The only license I have is a barber license that I have for a barber shop that I have on Fifth Avenue that my sons runs.
Are you going to school, education? Are you getting any type of other training besides, OJT?
No.
Oh.